Alright, fuck it. It's just preseason, but let's do car video recap for the Vikings here. So, preseason game number 1 is in the books. Vikings beat Houston 20-10. That's kind of irrelevant. You know, those final scores, these games don't matter. I mean, I think it was last year was the first time the Vikings had even won a preseason game in the KOC era. So, I gotta turn the AC on. Boy, it got fucking hot today. Holy shit. With a big jersey on. So, yeah, 20-10 Vikings. Obviously, the thing going in is everyone wanted to see J.J. McCarthy. He only played one series. It was a long drive. It was like about a 12-13 play drive. Ended in a field goal. Reichert 2 for 2. We've been worried. We've been a little worried about Will Reichert during camp here. The day I was out there at camp, I almost caught one of his missed kicks. So yeah, it wasn't going great for him. But he had 2 fumbles today. But J.J. McCarthy, I mean, he didn't look terrible. He looked fine. Like he found Addison for a couple throws. But you know, again, it's work in progress. He was not. You know, the thing that stands out in one drive is just kind of like the timing. You know, the rhythm of passing. It wasn't really there. You know, he missed a couple of throws. But again, it's a matter of expectations. I'm not expecting the guy to be, Peyton Manning, ever. I mean, I'm hoping that he can be kind of like a, upper third type of quarterback someday. So I don't think anyone's got to be on the ledge about McCarthy from this game, but he wasn't great. He was fine. First team. I shouldn't even say first team defense because I don't even know who all was out there. They put out a list before the game of guys who were going to play, and a lot of them were the defensive starters. So I don't know how many defensive starters were actually out there. But the first Texans drive, they pretty much just gashed us, drove right down, and scored. Not too worried. I mean, what the hell? It's preseason both ways. You're not gonna show a lot of creative plays. You're not gonna dial up a lot of creative defensive plays. So not too worried about that either. And actually, I thought some of the second team, third team, fourth team defense looked really good. I can't even remember the name of the guy who got a couple interceptions in the second half. Starts with a K. Half the plays, in this game, someone does second half, especially, someone does something, and I gotta look at the magazine to see who the hell that even was and where they came from. Yeah, I mean, I think KOC is probably pretty happy overall about the game. The biggest downer was Rondale Moore, the presumed starting punt returner. I mean, he was out on the first punt return, and he got strung out to the sideline, and he got tackled. I haven't been able to see the play yet, but supposedly, I mean, you could tell it was bad because as soon as he hit the ground out of bounds, he kind of took his helmet off and threw it, and then he was bang, the guy had to bring the cart out, and you could hear him banging it. I'm way up in the upper level, and you could hear the banging on the cart. So just his reaction tells me that was probably a really bad injury, and he's a guy who's battled injuries. I mean, that's kind of how we ended up getting him. Is he was kind of on the cheap. We can bring him in. And if he could be healthy, he could be a real nice weapon. But I think his season is over, which means they are between that and the Addison suspension, which came down officially this week, they're definitely going to have to go get another receiver at some point. Because you got Jefferson, but then you got Jalen Naylor at 2 at that point, and they've got some other young guys who've there are a couple guys who made some nice catches in this game, but I think they're going to have to do something there. I know the offensive line wasn't the full 5. I know the rookie Donovan Jackson was starting. I can't tell where I'm watching. Watching a guard specifically, like what's going on. Supposedly he had a couple of pretty bad plays, but again, you're not playing with the full unit. What matters is how do these guys look when it's the unit that you want. So again, Riker made his field goal, so that's good. Second half was for a preseason game, this wasn't bad. Second half, we got of course, after JJ was out, we got Sam Howell, who the reports have all been bad on him in camp. I don't know. The day I was there, he looked fine. I thought he looked pretty good in this one. It was kind of nice seeing a Vikings QB wearing that number 8, slinging it around again. But I thought he looked fine. I don't know if there's a panic there. Like, oh, we still have to go get another quarterback. I think Howell's fine. He's played pretty decent at times in his career, and he's a backup QB. Frankly, unless you want to go get Kirk back, which I don't think they're gonna do, and I don't think they would do. But you're not gonna have like a star level backup quarterback, because where the hell are you gonna find that now? So I think Howell will be fine unless I'm sure he'll get some playing time next week's game. But I think Howell will be fine. I'm not worried about him. I really like that trade when they made it on draft weekend. Beyond him, then we got then they went with Brett Rippon for I think the whole third quarter, and then a little bit into the fourth quarter. I don't think he did much to help himself. If there is a true battle for QB3, I don't think he did himself any favors, and I think Max Brosmer, the Gopher, I think he did himself some big time favors, because Brosmer, when he was out there, and again, you gotta know that you're not playing the best players, but he's not playing with the best players either. I thought Brosmer looked really good. Kind of mad at PJ Fleck. How the hell did you not get to a major bowl with this guy? But he looked pretty good. I wouldn't be surprised if it might come down to a thing where if you cut both of them, if you cut Rippon and you cut Brosmer, who's more likely to get picked up by somebody? It's probably Brosmer, because he's a little younger. He can conceivably still be seen as more of a developmental guy. I would be a bit surprised if Brosmer ended up beating out Rippon for QB3, and then maybe Rippon sticks around on the practice squad or something. The other big standout was running back Xavier Scott. I don't follow all the camp reports, but it sounds like he's been looking really good in camp. Looked really good in this game. He's got some burst. He's got some power. I mean, he's not going to supplant Aaron Jones or Jordan Mason, but he could supplant Ty Chandler. I'm still a believer in Ty Chandler. Ty Chandler had a couple nice plays in this game. He was in there with Howell a lot. I still think Chandler's a pretty decent player, but he might get pushed out because he's pretty, simple as this. It might be just a little cheaper option with Scott. Beyond that, they got some turnovers second half. Some guys, it's always, it's neat. Most of these guys are basically, if you're playing in the second half of any preseason game at this point, your roster spot is pretty tenuous. So, but you make a play. Fourth straight quarterback for Houston, Mertz. He had one interception. It was about the worst throw I've ever seen a quarterback make. I don't know what, even for a fourth quarter of a preseason game, this thing's putrid. But we'll see. Next week they got another home one. I guess New England. Don't think we'll be doing a car recap for that, because I don't think I'm going to go to that one. But and then they finish up with, I think, the Titans. again, I think KOC's probably pretty happy about most of what happened in this game. Aside from the injury situation, there was another lineman, I think it was a center, got hurt in the fourth quarter. You see that, and you're like, God, do you think a guy like that gets hurt probably pretty bad? They had to bring a car for him too. Fourth quarter preseason game, like he's probably never gonna get another shot to play pro football. It's harsh business, but mostly in the injury front, I think they came out of this pretty good, other than Moore. But they'll have to figure something out with that wide receiver. There's been rumors about bringing Thielen back. I'd even rumors about maybe we can get KJ Osborne back. Or there's like Amari Cooper out there. There's probably some other free agent guys out there. I mean, they're gonna have to do something. So that's the one big negative from this game. But everything else is pretty solid, pretty decent game. We'll move on to the next one against the hated New England Patriots.